together to embrace the brilliance and radiance of a region that proudly stands as the beacon of aspirations, the land of jewels, the irrefutable pride of the Northeast.
Art destroys the ego and fosters harmony by reviving folk art forms of all indigenous groups, awakening a culture of mutual respect. A true artist will always be an ambassador of love and peace. A genuine artist cannot be an extremist because art promotes peace and removes ego. Now we start the event with the Sanskrit version of the Lord's Prayer. Let's all sit and listen to the meditative chanting.
Manipuri dance is one of the classical dance styles of India. It is indigenous to Manipur, the northeastern state of India, and the indigenous people of this valley were said to be the dance expert. Manipuri dance is purely religious and its aim is spiritual experience. The development of music and dance has been through religious festivals and daily activities of the Manipuri people. Not only is a dance medium of worship and enjoyment, a door to the divine, but indispensable for all social economic ceremonies. From the religious point of view and from the artistic angle of vision, the Manipuri classical form of dance is claimed to be one of the modest, softest and mildest, but most meaningful dances in the world.
Chavara Cultural Centre begins with a new initiative of promoting various art forms of different states of India. The institution Chavara Cultural Centre Delhi is a CMI initiative to promote peace and harmony in society through inter-religious dialogue, art, literature, and cultural interaction. This centre is an offshoot of Chavara Cultural Centre Kochi, which was established in 1971 on the occasion of the centenary of heavenly bliss of Saint Kuriakose alias Chavara.
Following the footsteps of Saint Kuriakose alias Chavara, who taught children to respect people and to consider everyone as brothers and sisters. He was a champion of social harmony and an exponent of peaceful coexistence. Saint Chavara considered humanity as one family, all human beings as children of God. He's always stood for universal brotherhood.
The Central acts as a catalyst for fostering inter-religious harmony, nurturing traditional art forms, and providing platforms for discussions, seminars, and debates on topics related to social harmony, peace, and national integration. Now I welcome Dr. Father Robbie Kanamchura onto the stage for the welcome address. He is the director of Chavara Culture Centre, born on 1969, June 18th. He is one of the twin priests in Kerala. In 1998, the twins, Father Ruby Kanamchura CMI and the Father Roy Kanamchura CMI, were ordained as Catholic priests. Father Roby is a PhD holder in English literature. He is also the Secretary General of the World Fellowship of Inter-Religious Council.
A very warm good evening to all of you, especially our distinguished guests. As our Masters of Ceremony, Chavara Culture Centre is a centre always promoting peace and harmony through inter-religious dialogue and art, literature, music, dance, and all kinds of cultural interactions. And today, we are just having a wonderful performance of Manipuri dance along with a lecture on the cultural interactions and the role of traditional art forms in promoting peace and harmony. And I'm really happy to welcome all of you, especially our distinguished guests. We are organizing these programs, especially these traditional art forms of different states of India. It's only because our conviction that the reviving folk art forms of our nation, of our different states, will enhance the culture of promoting mutual respect and acceptance, which is badly in need of our nation. So today we have an honorable guest to speak on the role of these traditional art forms and cultural activities in promoting peace and harmony and to create this concept of culture of mutual respect and acceptance. We have Sri K. Satish Nambudiripan, IIS, who is here to speak on the topic. And our Masters of Ceremony will give you a very good introduction about him during the time of his speech. But I really appreciate Sri K. Satish Nambudiripan because his interest in promoting these traditional art forms and cultural values of our nation is unparalleled. He's deeply interested in topics such as development, education, culture, music, and issues connected with migration and so many other areas of interactions. And he's the right person to speak on this subject. I'm really happy to welcome you, dear Sir, Sri Satish Namboodiripar, on this wonderful occasion of presentation of this Manipuri art forms. You can come to the front side, please. And as we know, Manipur is a land of jewels and the pride of Northeast. Each indigenous culture has its own value. It's a unique value. So we are celebrating the differences. That's why Chavara Cultural Centre is having this motto, celebrating the differences means celebrating Bharat. We have to accept the differences and appreciate the uniqueness, and we have to celebrate it. So today we have our Manipuri dancers, the leadership of Kamaljit ji. And I appreciate Sri Kamaljit ji and your team. And we shall just give them a good hands, join our hands for a good clap. Yeah, most welcome, Sri Kamaljit Singh and all our Manipuri dancers. Let us give them a small flower. We know that. You can please. To master an art form is not an easy task, you know. Mastering any art form is really a sadhana. It's a prayer. I do call it as a sannyasa, being a sannyasi, a Catholic religious priest. We have Catholic religious nuns here. We understand what is dedication and commitment. As Shivkara says, commitment doesn't mean that sticking on something when you have no choices. A commitment to a particular art form is prayer, sannyasa and sadhana. Because a true artist endures great agony in mastering these particular art forms. And to sacrifice himself and to unite with these particular art forms. And when art and artists become one, it gives birth to a divine purity, and all who witness, the viewers of this particular art form, is being purified by the real purity imbibed by the particular artist, by his great sacrifice to master that particular art form. That's why we have to promote these traditional art forms. Since seeing this art being performed purifies the heart and mind of the people, and that creates a new culture. That's why we said here, art destroys ego and fosters harmony. And we know that this art performance brings a universal experience that unites people from different walks of life and different faith or different traditions. So reviving folk art forms of indigenous groups awakens this new brand of culture. That is, as I have already said, a culture of mutual respect and acceptance. So today, Chavara Cultural Centre begins a new space by celebrating the diversity of our different states. So I welcome all of you. Once again, welcoming you, especially our Sri Satish Namboodirippa and his beloved wife, and all the distinguished guests and invited guests, especially Father Abhilash, our Deputy Babuji, and Thomas, and all other distinguished guests, invited guests, Reverend sisters. Let us celebrate the differences of our nation and let us be the ambassadors of peace and harmony. So Chavara Cultural Centre initiate these celebrations. So I expect and I hope all of you will enjoy this little time. We have a limited time to listen our Satish ji and to watch these wonderful dance programs. Once again, welcoming you, all of you, to this wonderful evening. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Words. Now amongst us we have our chief guest, Shri K. Satish Namboodirippa, IIS. He is a civil servant with more than 30 years of experience, having various important posts both in the center and state. He is trained in various universities both in India and abroad, and is a widely traveled man and associates with various art and culture organizations in Delhi. Now, I welcome Sri Satish Namboodirippa for inaugurating this program by lighting the lamp and then for the inaugural address. I also invite Sri Kamaljit along with all the other artists onto the stage.
Thank you, Father. Dr. Robbie Kannanjara, other distinguished guests, Father Blash, members of Chavara Cultural Centre, people associating with this event, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. Ever since Father Robbie Kannanjara had come here, I think recently, there has been a renowned or renewed force of activities under the auspices of Chavara Cultural Centre. And this is actually this is the third invite that I've been getting from Father Kannanjara. Initially, I recall the beautiful function that the center had organized on the occasion of Christmas 2022, when a marvelous performance of differently able children in the presence of a distinguished gathering was organized. I had the good fortune to be a part of that, to associate with that. Later on, I was also invited to the Easter celebration, which I could not attend because I was not there in Delhi at the time. Early first weeks of April, I couldn't attend that because I was not here. And this is the third time, and this time in the form of a chief guest or somebody to speak on an occasion. Not being unkind to Father, let me just share a small secret. Father knew that probably I am not the right person to speak on this occasion. He wanted a true artist to do that. I am neither an artist nor an art performer nor an art historian. I call myself an art enthusiast, rather an untutored rasika. I don't have any of the artistic talents. We look at what all of the art forms, etc., during the course of the talk. I don't have any art with me. People say that painting, then sculpture, or architecture, or literature, music, dance, then later on cinema, photography, etc., etc. My wife happens to be an architect, so that is the nearest I can claim to be in one of the traditional art forms. Father actually wanted a renowned musician, singer, etc. to do this honors. He being a good friend and he not being able to do this in Delhi, this responsibility was gently passed on to me. I accepted it with all my humility, because of my friendship with Father, definitely, and also the person who had asked me to do was an equally great friend and associate. My best wishes to Chavara Cultural Centre for the various activities that they are doing on the social and cultural fronts, and also the beautiful intent or the objective or the aim that he had created by rekindling or trying to rekindle the sense of, I don't want to use the word reviving traditional art forms, because I think the indigenous art forms are already very, very vibrant when you go to those places. We may not be familiar with Manipuri art, or we may not be familiar with Chow, or we may not be knowing much about Odissi. But that does not mean that those forms are not, those forms need revival there. It only requires reintroduction to us, or moving towards that and better exposure to that. Having said that, this initiative is a very, very welcome step. Trying to know more about the art forms, the artists, what constitutes arts, how does it flourish, and how does it foster harmony and oneness. The topic of the day, or rather the event of the day, or the purpose for organizing this, this kind of a thing, this kind of a get together, as I mentioned, is indeed highly praiseworthy. This being the first one, I'm extremely happy to associate with it also, and I wish it continued success, and more than that, fruitfulness also. May it serve the purpose for which it has been thought of or initiated. As I mentioned, I'm not an artist, but the talent and interest are two different things. Ability to reproduce is talent, whereas ability to appreciate is interest. Any art forms, if you can, for that matter, even running or sports or anything, ability to reproduce is called traditionally the vasana or the talent. To a great extent, it is inborn, and to some extent, it can be cultivated. Totally different is this interest. You need not be knowing anything about anything, even to be greatly interested in that. People say bhakti, devotion. You don't have to be a jnani to be a bhakta. You don't have to know Bible by heart to be a great believer in the Jesus or in the God. You don't need to know the Jnana Kandam and Bhakti Kandam or Karma Kandam or all the Vedantas and Tripadas, etc. to be a great bhakta in the Hindu way. I'm sure that the story about Melpatur and Poondanam, especially for the Malayalis, I prefer the bhakti of Poondanam to the vibhakti of Melpatur. Similar is the case with art also. You don't need to know much about art in order to appreciate it. You only have to have openness. You only have the ability to appreciate and see the goodness in that. And the minutes that you have, you become an art enthusiast, a rasika, and a great contributor in artistic endeavors. Because art cannot flourish without people who appreciate. Art cannot flourish only by artists. The number of artists are very, very small. In any art form, number of people who perform Kathakali in Kerala, of the 3.5 crore population of Kerala, would be much less. It is an art enthusiast who sustain it. So let us try to be that, and we need not be an artist at all. I shall, not being an art historian or anybody deeply knowledgeable about art, I also have my doubts about how far my words will be taken seriously, because whatever the way I approach things, or even the subject that I have, it is only from the point of view of a general observer, of somebody interested in it, and a little bit of reading and wanting to know what it is. And also the way you look at it and try to analyze it. So I may not be correct. For that matter, even an academic need not be correct. I'm not saying that an artist may be correct in his positions. Positions are all subjective. It is only a perspective, the way you look at it. Let me place before you some of the things on the particular topic that we are discussing. The topic of the day is art destroys ego and fosters harmony. There are three important words in that. One is art, the other is harmony, the other is ego. Destruction of ego or annihilation of your great, pride and ego are, pride is positive, ego they say is negative. Your overrating opinion about yourself. most important here today. What do you mean by art? Or what is the definition of art? People say art is the expression of human ideas and emotions through a physical medium. Art is the expression of ideas and human emotions through a physical medium. That medium can be, as I said, painting or sculpture or architecture, literature or music, photography, anything. If you look at, try to read something about art, they say that initially they say that the three are the Brahmanical art, the most important, painting, sculpture and architecture. That's how the art form starts, they say. The reason could be that the earliest findings or discoveries of art forms are of these three. The Bhimbedka in the Madhya Pradesh area, the caves, the paintings there date back to some 35,000 years in India. Australian caves also. We all know that the Homo erectus, the people who have started standing as different from the Neanderthal men, started walking nearly some 2 lakhs years back. 50, 60, 70,000 years back, people started the cave dwellings, etc. Earliest forms of artistic findings in India is Bhimbedka, which is 35 to 40,000 years old. In the case of sculpture, the Germany's Holstein saddle, the Lion Man, the statue of the Lion Man. It's an ivory. You just Google it, you can see that. Maybe very, very close to the Narasimha concept of India. The head of a lion and the body of a man erect. It's cut, it's knit up, etc. Because again, dating back to 35 to 45,000 years back. Architecture, one of the most wonderful things, be it Roman Colosseum or the Brihadeeswara temples of India, everywhere. Standing for years and bringing human emotions to great awe and wonder. So they say that these are the three primary art forms. But I was discussing it with, Delhi's own very famous art teacher, Deepthi Omcheri Bhalla. She was mentioning, we cannot say it that very clearly because the Bhimbedka paintings have some forms of some people dancing or some musical instrument kind of a thing. Mohenjo-daro, the Harappan dancing girl, it is much later. I'm sure that you would have seen a lady's statue with this kind of a thing, the Harappan dancing girl. One doesn't know, that may be much later, but in the case of Bhimbedka and all, if there is a remnants of or as pointers to some musical instruments, etc., can you say that painting came first? Or would he have imagined it and done it? Which came first, whether the musical instrument or because voice would have started slightly earlier. Human beings are nearly 2 lakhs years back. Some kind of a voice modulation would have started. And dance, of course, is the human expression with the body movements. Whenever you become happy, you start jumping. That could be the earliest form of dancing. The way you hugged each other, the way you ran to somebody, a daughter to son, or a daughter to mother, or husband to wife, or whatever. We don't know. But these are considered to be the earliest of the art forms. Then the literature, then music, 5. Then there are 7 art forms, then 10, 8, 10, etc. 8, 10, it is photography and cinema also come. Of course, they are in the modern times as art forms, they are of very great relevance. I'll definitely want to add in today's world digital medium, artificial reality and virtual reality and immersive reality, etc. They're all great art forms. All of them can be broadly categorized as literary arts, visual arts, and performing arts. Under this performing arts, all this various types of dancers, everything came. The purpose of art, they say, or from the point of view of the objective of art, they say they look at it at three: physical, social, and personal. Physical are more or less those art forms which have got some kind of a utility, some particular purpose. For example, a beautiful rostrum or a highly carved cot or even a sword, but they have a purpose behind it. They are utilitarian in nature. Even a necklace for that matter. We all value it, we all like it, a bangle. Ultimately, it has got a purpose. So they fall under the category of the physical. Societal, which hold a mirror to the society. Manipuri dance of today, or Kerala's Chow dance, Kathakali or Kudiyattam, Chow or Odissi, or African blues, or Tongo, or Brazilian Tongo, or Brazilian Samba, or Caribbean Tongos. They all hold a mirror to the society. How it has come, how people looked at each other as a society, how did they grow? And then the personal art. Of course, all these things have come as personal expressions. It is a human being who could do that. If you keenly observe, flora and fauna also have their art forms. Probably their arts are much, much better, much more beautiful. Nature is the biggest artist. The way she spreads colors, the rights of colors and flowers, the way a small sparrow builds its nest, learned all these. But the societal art forms are the one which put together the society as one unifying whole. In the modern times, there are three agencies: the state, the society, and the man. What is the purpose of the state? Basic purpose of the state is wealth creation. That is why Singapore has become more important or Dubai is very important. For the society, it is a welfare measure which is very important. We are all living in a small set of people. For us, the welfare measure of our people. Are people happy with their life? For the individuals, it is a faculty development. It is a talents. Somebody may be a runner, somebody may be a sculptor, somebody may be a mason, somebody may be working on house building. His talents. Which is the way through which is the route through which he creates wealth and he takes care of his welfare mission. So societal art forms, the individual initiatives, it brings people together. Ultimately, that is a utilitarian, living, etc. Why art interests us? Because it gives us pleasure. Ultimately, the purpose of art is rasa anubhava, creation of ananda, transcendence. Anubhav Gupta and even Bharata Muni, they all talked about the Navarasas and how art creates good feelings in us. Dante talked about transcendence. Whatever is beautiful, whatever gives you pleasure, they all can be treated as culture. Art forms. By virtue of that, even gardening is an art form. Cooking is an art. Keeping an area very clean is an art. Whatever makes things beautiful, whatever gives people happiness, that is art. It also evolves human beings, It also brings out the best in man, the social cohesiveness. ability to look at the rest of the human beings or society from his perspective rather than your perspective. Because as Father was saying, it requires some kind of an ability to empathize with others. Then only this you can become a great artist. Pablo Picasso said that art does away the daily sedimentations of the daily life from the soul. It keeps you or makes you look at the society in a different way. Only such person can be called a proper artist. How does art bring harmony? That's the second most important issue. As we have seen, art brings people together. It's an individual ultimately which makes a society, and it is a society which makes a state. It's an individual's talent which come out in the form of an art. The wealth creation that I was referring to of the state through the welfare measure of the society that individual has to contribute for through his own talents. It brings people together. It is also an expression of what it means to be human. That is the most important issue. What it means to be human in the essential sense. By human, we mean those qualities which are, of course, positive in us, which distinguishes an individual from the man and the beast. Art in the difficult times is extremely connected with this topic. How does art brings out the humanness in human being? All man-made problems, there are only two types of problems in this world. One is nature's fury, and the rest are all under man-made. And the only living creature which is capable of creating large-scale problems is sadly the human beings. Out of the hundreds and crores of flora and fauna, we only can create problems of a larger scale which affect the large number of people. Our cognitive ability, which had totally distinguished us from the rest of the people, from the rest of the creations of the God, because we manipulate, our ability to manipulate the environment for our happiness or our satisfaction or what we perceive as our way of life is the maximum. A small ant digs a small hole. There it ends. His ability to manipulate that area is only that much. Whereas our reaches, now I'm not going into an environmental journalism or environmental look of world. I mean, at the universe. All these problems are because of our innate ability to manipulate our living environment only to suit our happiness. Russian Revolution, coming back to the art. Lenin was a great scholar in Latin. He was deeply interested in literature. Tolstoy, Turgenev, or Pushkin, they all influenced Russian Revolution. Their works of art. Similarly, French, the great three, Rousseau, Voltaire, and Montesquieu. And after that, people like the Romantic Revolution, Romantic literature, Carlyle and Charles Dickens, etc., who wrote about the Tale of Two Cities. Human beings have brought out, or the art, or the culture, or the literature, or the music, or the dance, did did bring out the best in human beings in order to give the world, in order to make the world a better place. Same is the case with Picasso's Guernica, very famous painting of Spanish Civil War. Nazi people bombing it in the city of Guernica, and the problem of faced by the human beings, even the cattle or in the beast of burden, etc. Very recently, the Napalm girl, I'm sure that everybody remembers that, I mean, as the one photograph, a work of art. Napalm girl, that girl running away with almost nude after the American bombing in Vietnam. 1984, the National Geographic, the front car, the Afghan girl. I'm sure that everybody remembers Gulal. What Gulal? I'm forgetting her name, sorry. Two piercing cat's eye eyes, looking at the world and blaming the entire humanity for what was happening in Afghan, in the Soviet Afghan war. You can look at the history, or look at the human. There is a famous one, the dance macabre. That is a bubonic plague days, 1420s. A set of paintings, the dance of death, that brought about the human problems and the way people have to look at it. All forms of art have brought the best in human being, how human being can be more human that way. Then art is also a very good way of saying thank you to people, the gratitude. There is no other way than art to say thanks to all our offerings are artistic in nature, to fellow human beings, to God, or to whatever we believe. On a much more utilitarian daily sense, art also helps in keeping the spaces around us very clean. The way it harmonizes people, it fosters understanding about human beings or human societies, the basic objective of today's meeting. Kathakali or Kudiyattam, talking about Kerala, for that matter, entire India to the rest of the world. The African blues, the music telling what Africa is all about. There is a very famous painting of, artwork of the ivory artworks, talking about the African slavery movement, understanding societies, appreciating their positions, nothing for recording the human struggle and daily life and societal understanding between each other. The role of art is very great. I'm coming to an end of time that has been given. Third and most important is destruction of ego, or the suppression of the inflated feeling of what makes you or yours so important. Your identity or perceived notions about yourself, which is a single most important problem for all what we see around us. Because as I said, only human beings created problems of mammoth nature. All the wars have been created by human beings. All the strifes have been created by us. I'm not going into the natural calamities which are beyond anybody's. Anything else, any destruction, any demolition, any desperation, any cross-country movements, they're all human beings' creation. Have ever thought, any one of us thought, what is the root cause? The root cause for all this is by the fact that we forget one primary and primordial reason, that all our strives, all our egotistical or egoistic holding on to things that you think are important. I'm not saying that they are not important. Sometimes they may be. They are all born out of an accident on which you have absolutely no control, which is your birth. Your language, your land, your religion. You are a Christian, I am a Hindu, I am a Nambudiri, there is a Nair, I am a Kannur, and there is a Trivandrum or a Kochi. There is a Kerala versus there is a Tamil Nadu. There is an India versus there is a Pakistan. Everything is born out of an accident on which you have absolutely no control. There has never been a major war between the doctors and the lawyers, because these are two decisions of your informed decisions. One priest, he became a priest because of his informed choice. Okay, there has been some fights between priests. Sorry, I should not say that. That is on a lighter note. There has never been wars on occupation. All are wars on I being a Hindu, you being a Christian. I being a Hindu, you being a Muslim. What do you know about Hinduism to feel so proud about it? What do you know, for that matter, what do I know about Kannur district in which I am born to feel so great about Kannur as against Wayanad or Calicut or Trivandrum? Let alone Hinduism or regionalism or language. How much of Malayalam you know to feel that Malayalam is a better language than Tamil? All by an accident on birth. If that larger understanding is there, probably the life would be a better thing to lead. This world would be a better place to live. We all would be better human beings. But again, that is a debate on which you can have a separate discussion altogether, because the perceived notions of right and wrong, that the first right and second rights are different. What is supposed to be the right thing to correct and wrong, or the right and my responsibilities, less on responsibilities, more on right, that kind of a right. There also the difference between the human behavior and the societal behavior. Very, very interesting topics. Why should you fight on it? Nationalism. Where should it start? Where should it end? Where should it flourish? How far it should go? On what level? On what plane? Ultimately, more than art, it is our own realization about what is the right way of leading a life, understanding our limitations, understanding the foolishness of fighting for certain causes which are entirely beyond your control, on which you have absolutely no proprietary rightship. But that is again a euphoria. That is again a kind of a time which probably will never ever come. But we have to live with it. Till then, let us take the help and support of such beautiful art forms. Thank you once again for inviting me. And thank you for your attention. Jai Hind.
Thank you for your true words, sir. Learning any art form is a sort of prayer, sadhana and sannyasa. A true artist goes through enormous pain to surrender himself and merge with the work. When art and artist became one, a divine purity is born, and all who witness this union are purified in this process. Seeing art performed cleanses the mind and strengthens the element of kindness inside individuals and of society. Art both destroys the ego and promotes unity. Art creates a common experience that draws people of various faith and ways of life together.
Now we start with the performance. First, we have Maibi Jagoy. This dance describes the various process of the creation of the world during Lai Haroba festival. Maibi is the head priestess in the festival that lasts for 1 month. This is a ritual dance and she does all the religious work wearing beautiful white costume. The Maibi performs this ritual dance while undertaking various religious tasks. The graceful movements and the gestures of the Maibi convey the sacredness and beauty of the creation process.
Thank you for the amazing performance, Lakshmi and Chetna. Next we have sword dance. It is a traditional martial art performed in Manipur. In this sequence, the martial arts express artistically the skill of self-defense and artistic movement of different parts of the body. It was traditionally performed in the auspicious royal gathering and state functions, adding a touch of grandeur and valor to such auspicious occasion.
That was indeed a wonderful performance. Thank you, Senai. Next, we have Lai Haroba. It is a traditional festival of Manipur dating back to prehistoric ages, lasting about 10 to 15 days. In this dance, men and women offer prayer to the deities for peace and prosperity in the land. The dance reflects the deep spiritual connection of the Manipuri people with their deities and the devotion to a well-being of their community.
Thank you for the amazing performance, Jiblata, Lakshmi, and Chetna. Next, we have stick dance. This is one of the martial art forms of Manipur, showing the artistic balancing skill of big stick holding two thin sticks. The dancers demonstrate the agility and dexterity in executing intricate movements. The stick dance not only exhibits the martial prowess of the performers, but also embodies the artistic and cultural heritage of Manipur.
That was indeed a mind-blowing performance. Thank you, Sanai, once again. Now we have the last performance, which is Basanta Ras. This is a classical dance of Manipur. It is performed during the full moon night of spring by Lord Krishna with Radha and Gopi playing with colors. It is particularly known for its Hindu Vaishnavism themes and performance of love-inspired dance drama of Radha Krishnan called raasleela. The dancers bring to life divine life and devotion through their graceful movements and enchanting performance.
ibemasing lakpisi lakpisi hauji aikhoi mayam loinaraduna basantaras sanarasi ibungu nana aikhoina pamjabasu madutani
Thank you for the wonderful performance, Karishma, Jublata, Lakshmi, and Chetna. Before concluding the program, now I invite Father Dr. Robi Kannanjara onto the stage for giving the token of appreciation.
Sir, please come forward. Now it's exactly at 8 o'clock, it seems. And Sadish sir. Yeah, please ask all the artists to come to stage. Yeah. Go on, mate.
Thank you for your wonderful words, Shri Satish Namboodiripad, IIS. Thank you to all the artists who performed. It was really wonderful to see all of you. Thank you so much. Art destroys the ego and fosters harmony by revoking folk art forms of all indigenous groups, awakening a culture of mutual respect. A true artist will always be an ambassador of love and peace. A genuine artist cannot be extremist because art promotes peace and removes ego. With this, we come to the end of the program.
Thank you to all the artists for the amazing and mesmerizing performance, and also to the audience who are both physically present here and also watching the program through online medium.
Thank you once again.
destroys ego and fosters harmony. A true artist cannot be a fanatic, and a true artist will be always an ambassador of peace, justice, equality, fraternity, and harmony. Because art destroys ego and fosters harmony. Chavara Cultural Centre Delhi is organizing a Manipuri dance program on 21st May at YWCA Auditorium, Delhi. The most important method to promote peace and harmony in the society is to promote the indigenous cultural art forms, music, dance and etc. Chavara Cultural Centre Delhi is a CMI initiative to promote peace and harmony through interreligious dialogue, art, literature, music and cultural interactions. Sri Satish Namboodirippa, the Additional Director General of Doordarshan, will inaugurate the program. My dear friends, I, Father Robi Kanajara CMI, Director Chavara Cultural Centre Delhi, cordially invite you to this wonderful dance program. Let us join our hands for a better world.